BluntCut MetalWorks, October 5th, 2017. This is CPM rex121 and heat treated to wood heater 2.5, version 2.5. Rockwell hardness is 71, so it's very hard. And this test it's about, I want to find out how long a novelty edge lasts. In this case, novelty means that for a high carbide volume steel, the bevel angle shouldn't be too thin. I sharpened this blade at 7 degrees precise. So, and with some little to using diamond plate all the way to extra fine, and then flatten the apex a little bit, and then go back to extra fine again. So it's twice. It's still quite coarse. And then I stropped it with 0.25 micron diamond with plastic as a backing, hard plastic as a backing. So the edge, basically, when the apex, when the edge two angle, when they intersect, in this case, and I estimate maybe with the strop, maybe a little rounding, maybe become like 8 degrees precise. It's about a straight razor edge. So, and let me see if I can pick up. It's sharp. I mark here is the picture. I took picture of the edge with at 400 magnification. So I will maybe later on take a picture at the same place. So I will shave a little bit here, and we'll see if I can pick up some stubble off my chin. You can see all the black. It's sharp enough. But the important thing is it's really thin, so the apex, it shouldn't be able to accommodate a whole carbide on its apex. I mean, given that I shaped the carbide with the diamond somewhat, it is still, not enough, or I think the abrasive is still too coarse. So let's do a quick test of the edge, and so as you can see, no problem push cutting. I like to do 45 because certain, at a certain 90, it's sometimes it become more iffy. So, and I don't like to go toward it because sometimes the paper act funny. So, but the point is really thin edge. So now, how long does this edge last besides for shaving hair? And so, and if we are, so I got a piece of leather. This is horse butt leather. So, and the the thickness behind the edge is I measure it, but it's actually not really big important at this point. It's about 4,000 or about 100 micron wide, but things can move so much up the bevel up here because the angle is so low. Now that when I sharpen it, where the gap between the stone and the spine is about this spine thickness here, and or less most of the time, sometimes a little wobbling, but that and then from this width, of course, rise over run, you can calculate out the sharpening angle. But this is leather, and so I basically push cut it, and I can cut it, more or longer, but I don't think it's going to do much. And I got 22 magnification, and sort of will give me a clue whether or not it microchip already or not. And I doubted the microchip at this point because all I did was leather. And so I'm going to make this slow. This is novelty, but I don't want to spend all the time, again, refine this thing to death because they're not enough metal for lateral forces. And even with you using the AEBL, for example, well, if you put it this sharp, say you take something like a feather, a double edge, and you decide to do test on it, you will see that how quickly the edge crumbles. And of course, a lot of times, okay, beside leather, beside that, and say, okay, so this is rex121. And I say, well, this cardboard in relative thickness, as you can see, right there. And so, and I'm going to just cut it. Across the wall here. It's not with the wall. So there are a lot of story on top of, out there, user experience is if you have really sharp edge and you cut cardboard, then the edge would die. And it's true for a lot of heat treat. But this is an extreme version of it. And so, you have pardon me here. So I'm going to do a quick look. I don't think you can see. The level of damage, or when you cut through something like that, they're steering and there's going to be some lateral movement. So, and I can feel something there, right there, perhaps. We go back to that as there definitely are something that I can feel that there. And you say, okay, that will confirm it. And I say, well, I'm post cutting. That means some area, definitely the carbide or cluster of grain are fractured. Yes, I would call this at this level right now would be a few micron because the edge, the irregularity is about probably about 5 micron. So to catch this paper here, I think the microchip would be about maybe 10 to 20 micron. So, but this is so overall you can see there definitely one catch there, but the rest is okay. So it's still sharp. If I was, well, let me see here, save some. Yeah, there is black stubble on there for sure. Okay, so that's still okay. And then the next step of difficulty, and this is, well, this is the, instead of this, how about this? Zip tie. And of course, zip tie you do fold and cut. So I'm going to do one fold and then one cut. So fold, you can cut, and of course I think my technique probably better than right now because I'm careful. So are you going to press down? So it's not the same thing as most people are doing cutting. So I just want to see a little bit more control and see what is the now is how would it tear the paper. I think if they wanted to tear the paper, that means the pivot, the divot is deep enough to catch the edge of the paper and just tear it along. So, and I'm still, okay. It's still doing okay. So, this is whole 2x4, and I'm going to get chunk out of it. I'm pressure cut right now, not chopping, just pressure cut. Definitely there is noise. It's about right where the second red mark is. But again, you can see the edge did not crumble. So definitely, I mean, some of the high point, I mean, carbine, because it doesn't stretch or compress. And when you put a lot of PSI on it, and when it exceeds its fracture point, it just goes to, or U point this case actually, because it's so hard and they don't want to use plastic mud, they just go from elasticity to fracture. So that, it seemed to be okay. And so, oh yeah, well, I forgot about this guy. This is ½ inch chisel. So, of course, knife people got to be testing this. So, you see, again, definitely level of more careful cutting here, but it's about, again, is try to see what lead to failure of this edge. Because it's a straight razor, if you take a regular straight razor, I don't think it's going to go this far. So, because one straight razor, I did test straight razor before, some old German steel, and the edge folded very quickly, and then they won't cut phone book paper. There you go. I got a feeling I got something there. It's almost to the tearing point. Almost to the tearing point. Definitely right there. You can feel it. I can hear it. You can see it. It's but you can see how the difference between when it folded and it microchip like this. Microchip like this, it's able to cut paper still. When it folded and you have basically a wire on this apex here, then it will slip. But this thing will actually become, kind of, well, if you were sharpening it, would say, you have a grit or something, and the irregularity on it would be about, maybe 20, 30 micron or something, then that's what you have, or even, or a 400 grit. So, and then you can say, wow, it's 2D, ooh, now I can feel it. It definitely maybe a little bigger right now. Let me take a look. Well, I can see it's sort of like a micro serration on the one right there. I can see it. Hopefully you can see it. We'll take it close up. Right there, right there. So, but again, remember this whole area, and then you have one right there. Well, of course, when I sharpened this one at 15 degree psi, or even 18 here for this steel, then I don't have to, I get easily 90 degree or about this degree, and get a cut the apex off and remove those little microchips easy. So now we're just going to say how big can, well, I don't want to be too big of a microchip, and otherwise I have to, this is a knife with the nice core handle, partial thing, everything, so I have no intention to destroy it. Just give it a rough time, that's all. It's outdoor electrical wire. And see, again, I would pretty much think of this way. I'm just going to chop it straight down. And it won't go straight down. Oh, it went. I think I need to slice it a little bit, I think. How about slicing it a little bit? A little tough for now. Yeah, I think when I torque down, you can see now finally the torque tore a hole. Okay, please do the same angle. There you go. That what it takes is sometimes that you lateral force it. But again, this is when it ran into something that it begin to too much lateral force. I guess I have to remove a little bit more metal than this. Well, up to the depth of that big chip. I think this one moved back and forth, and that's why it's even harder to cut, really. So pressure cut is a lot less destructive. So go back to one last thing. Of course, if I decide to, well, that again, this edge is, of course, there's no roll in it when you have too much. And again, we are talking about straight razor edge here. All right, so the damage here is pretty good size. I think the torque there. And other than that, since I got the damage, I just one test next to it and press down on this zip tie and see. Oh, zip tie is really soft actually and stiff, so it didn't do anything for damaging it. I will maybe go on vertical. And zip tie is too easy. Yeah, so. Well, actually now, when I put it on vertical, it twisted, so now it bent a bigger chunk out of it. Okay. So I guess sometimes with testing, then you push a little farther than it should, but it's all right. It's still, you can see the thickness right there. So that to confirm you what the thickness is. Right there. Okay. Oh yeah, there's the zoom. That's good. So it's all right. So this edge, when the edge angle, you change it from say at 7.5 degrees to 15 degrees per side. I think the bow strength increased to about almost I think 3 times, if I was correctly calculate off my head. So, or actually cubic, I think. In that case, will be 8 times. But anyway, well, now you see what CPM rex121 and 71 Rockwell with straight razor edge. I'll go through these tests. All right, thanks for watching.